Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of the TB3 Sports Talk. If you hear this voice, yes, I am back from the dead. You couldn't kill me off that easy. I am back. We wanted to get together and talk about the big Rays postseason action coming up this week. The Rays have made it. They're back again, and they're going for gold.
If you're listening to this, it is Troptober. Officially Troptober in every house coming to a channel near you, all right? It's Troptober, baby.
ESPN, baby. It's coming.
Yep.
So one thing we're doing a little different today is we have a panel, as you'd say, of some of the voices you've heard over the past couple episodes and maybe a new one. So I guess without further ado, we have another sports connoisseur. Matt, welcome to the show.
What's up, TB3 Nation?
So we do have a little bit of a tradition before we get into your Rays Troptober talk. So Matt, why don't you tell us your least favorite Tampa Bay sports memory, and then follow it up with your favorite. And on a happy note.
Least favorite, I got to go with when we got booted from the playoffs by the Red Sox. I remember I was watching it with Colby, and we were at a friend's house, like, for her birthday. And we were just kind of watching it, like, on the water. It was, like, a pretty somber night. And it was
so
kind of gloomy.
It was depressing.
And then everybody's, like, happy around us when we were, like, glumming. So that wasn't cool.
Dude, we broke the lawn chair.
Yeah, that's
Remember?
Because I'm fat. That's why.
No,
but,
I think I was the fat one back then.
But my most favorite, I'm going to end on a good note here with this segment. I got to go with Airplane Man in the World Series.
Ooh, good one.
It's probably pretty
It's a common
pretty
one.
basic.
Probably the best moment of sports so far.
Pretty basic, but
it's pretty awesome.
It sent vibrations throughout the whole baseball world at the time, and it still has echoes of it now.
Were you on the infamous FaceTime call after that happened, Matt?
Oh, man.
I don't think I was.
Dude, we were talking about that because Luke said that too, and we were talking about how, like, none of us have ever done, like, a group FaceTime ever in our life, and we're just doing that after the game. Just like 8 dudes FaceTiming on a group FaceTime. It was awesome.
That was a great 24 hours.
It was.
And then
obviously, you guys might hear another voice. Ethan back on. He didn't
What
hate
up?
it so much that
it's
he's
good to be back. It's
Yep.
good to be back.
You guys all missed him, so we brought him back. I think he was episode 3 or 4. I was trying to remember. I should have looked. But yeah,
Best episode.
So it's TB5 today because we are all excited for these Rays playoffs to ramp up. We've been ever since the Orioles series, we've kind of known what our fate was going to be. We were just trying to figure out where we were going to be and who we were going to play and all that good stuff. But we know officially, we'll get into this later, but your Tampa Bay Rays will be taking on the Texas Rangers on this Tuesday at 3 p.m. Thank you, MLB, for that.
308.
Yeah, 3:08. At 3:08 p.m., thank you, MLB, in the Tropicana Field, looking to advance to the Division Series.
So before we do that, we're going to do a bit of a 2023 Rays recap. Some of the highlights and some of the lowlights.
Yeah, I mean, 2023 was probably one of the highest of highs and lowest of lows you could have as a baseball team. I mean,
True.
you can't
It really was.
tell the story of the 2023 Rays without talking about the beginning of the season. You know, the Rays started off the season winning 13 in a row. It's record-breaking. It ties the longest streak to start a MLB season by any team. It's a huge winning streak. I'm pretty sure it was the franchise's longest winning streak ever. It was amazing. The Rays did end up losing a game. Spoiler alert. I know we thought we might go 162-0, but that did not happen. But I mean, the Rays were playing dominating baseball all throughout April, all throughout May, all throughout June, and then unfortunately July hit, and that was the biggest bump in the road when it came to the Rays. They ended up that July with an 8-16 record. They lost first place, and then ever since July hit, the Rays have been fighting, scratching, tooth, nail, claw, all that stuff to try to get back to first place. But unfortunately, the Orioles were just one step ahead of them at all times, making them a wildcard team at 99 wins. 99-63, that's your final record. Unfortunately, the Rays were not able to get 100 wins, but it's all right. We are focused on the 13 wins we now need in the playoffs to get a World Series banner. So, without further ado, I mean, we got to tell the story of the TB3 of the of the Tampa Bay Rays 2023 season. And I mean, let's start it out. MVP, man, most valuable player on the Rays. We got a few good options. We got a lot of good ball players on these Rays. What are you guys thinking here?
Ethan, why don't you start off? What are you saying?
Oh man, well I think I'm going for the obvious pick. I think we're all excited that we can say this, that injury bug didn't bite him too bad this year. He was able to get a lot of just gameplay. Gotta go Yandy Diaz. I love the guy. Excited to see him just play this good. And I think it's something we kind of knew he always had the potential to play like this. And he just got consistent games. And none of us are surprised, but it's just super cool to see him be that crucial player that we need, So,
I think he scaled his muscles back a little bit this year, and that's part of the reason why he was able to stay on the field more.
Or they're bigger.
I think they might have been bigger because
they always said with him like his muscles were too big, and that's part of the reason why he was straining him all the time.
I don't know.
He was looking thick.
Dude.
He was
looking thick.
Dude, I don't know where
especially
you
on the
heard
back
that.
end. Man.
I've heard him say it like in sports talk. So
Yeah, but
maybe he got lucky this year.
I don't know
It worked.
because he did hit a career high 22 home runs this year, trumping his prior career high by numerous home runs. So I think that was a big story of Yandy Diaz's season, is that him able to balance the average with the power, and that's what made him, one of the best players in baseball. He's a legitimate MVP candidate. I don't think he's going to get it, but he is a legitimate
He
candidate.
deserves it. He deserves the MVP for sure.
It could be also just thinking about it that he was playing first this year, so maybe it was less stress on the body.
I think that's a better.
Yeah.
I think that's a better theory.
Good
for
point.
Muscles. But you look at Yandy Diaz's numbers. He ended up winning the AL batting title.
did?
Congrats
Let's
to
go,
Yandy
Yandy!
Diaz. Congrats to Yandy. He ended with a .330 batting average, beating out Corey Seager on the last day. Yandy
Heck
Diaz
yeah.
did not play. Corey Seager was hitless, and that's just going to continue our wins over the Rangers this week. That was the first win over the Rangers this week, and we'll get two more. But yeah, he ended up with a .330 average, a .410 on base percentage, 22 home runs, like I mentioned, 78 RBIs, and a .932 OPS. My goodness, dude's an absolute hitting the ball, smacking the ball around. But I'll ask you, Will. I know we have an obvious choice, but if you were to pick a second in command for this MVP award, who do you think you'd go with?
I think I'd have to go with Josh Lowe. I think he was hot and cold last year, back and forth from Durham to the Rays. The infamous drop ball in Baltimore that kind of really decided his season. After that, he just didn't play too well, got sent back to the minors. But this guy, man, fast on the base path, a bunch of steals, and then an electric bat, something we've needed for so long. And it's just, he's one of those guys, and there's so many you can name on this team, that outside we have our big stars. We have our Yandy Diaz, Randy. We did have Wander for some of the year, Brandon Lau. But then I'd say right up there was Josh Lowe, always getting the big hit we needed, always stealing a base to have somebody drive him home. No matter where you put him in the lineup, he was always producing. So yeah, I'd say he's a very close second to Yandy Diaz.
And he got the home runs we needed too. We needed that home run production from the outfield, and this year he was able to give it to us. Especially near when Manuel Margot was down a lot. The center fielder goes down, so it was really nice to have him kind of be that backbone of the outfield.
Yeah, 32 stolen bases, 20 home runs. That's no small feat. I know we've been seeing Ronald Acuna go crazy this year, but to get a 2020 season is an impressive mark, much less a 2030 season. And in Josh Lowe, that was a big achievement for him to get this last week of the season. And he's really been. He had a couple rough stretches, but especially the past month and a half, even two, he has been one of the best players on the Rays. And you could look back and just look at his numbers throughout the season. He's just been absolutely killing it, and it's been absolutely necessary. He's been someone who needed to rise to the occasion, and he absolutely has. Matt, so I'll go to you. I think we got a trifecta of MVP candidates. We said two of them, but I think we got one more that we should at least mention. So can you talk about this guy, Mr. Isaac Paredes?
Yeah, he's been bopping it all year. he's a pull hitter, so like I guess like the defense knows where it's going, but they still can't really stop it, which is nice because this is the year they took away the shift. So like I think it's just like good timing for that. Maybe that's why he's playing better this year. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and you can't stop a ball that goes into the stands.
That's
Isak
right.
Paredes hit 31 home runs this year. Every single one of them was a pull home run. It's such a unique way of hitting, but I mean, he crowds up to the plate. He has such quick hands that it works for him. And I mean, he put together a monster season. I mean, you're looking at 250 batting average, and then you're looking at 31 home runs and 98 runs driven in for 840 OPS. I mean, that's ridiculous. He was the person driving the runs all season for us.
Another thing, I think a big thing is just to contrast the 2022 season from 2023. And I feel like he did really well to start the year last year and then kind of fizzled out towards the end. And a lot of people were saying, oh, we lost the Austin Meadows trade, this and that. But this year, man, what a way to turn it around. And absolute bombs all the time. So you love to see it, and you love to see the growth from Isak Paredes.
I mean, I love Isak Paredes. Like, at the beginning of the year, I was one of the biggest criers saying, like, we need Evan Longoria. He needs to finally have his reunion and ride out on the sunset with us. But now having Isak Paredes, I'm like, well, I still really want that. But I'm happy. I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And the thing about Isak I love is every time he's up to the plate, the at-bat, it's just a quality at-bat. I mean, he's taking pitches. He's not chasing. He's putting the ball in play. I mean, I can think of numerous times where he's hitting the ball on the screws and it's getting caught. And that's adding on to his numbers that just got unlucky for him. But, I mean, it's a quality at-bat. He's been so good and so consistent. I think other than Yandy Diaz, I think he is the most consistent player on the Rays. And, I mean, he's a young guy. I think he's 23 or 24 years old. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing this guy mash baseballs for years to come, which I think is awesome as Rays fans.
And another impressive thing is toward the end of the year, he started playing almost every infield position. It was like, I didn't even know you could do that.
He played all four of them.
Versatile. That's
Yeah,
what we need.
Versatile, it's
He's a
homers.
big man, but he can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think we'll do a final vote. We are going to raise our hands, and we'll give you a sound recap. But TB3, TB5 panel, raise your hand if you think Yandy Diaz is the Rays' 2023 MVP. That is okay. That is five
That's
out
a
of
clean sweep.
That is
That's a
5
clean
out of 5
sweep.
people thought that Yandy Diaz was the 2023 Rays MVP. So congrats to Yandy. I know this means a lot to you. We'll make you, if you want one, we'll send you a trophy for your collection. But thank you for being so consistent for us. We enjoyed watching you. But there's not only just hitting in baseball. There's pitching too, and I think we got to get to the Cy Young. So I mean, Joel, tell us about this Cy Young race within the Rays right now.
This is a hard choice. I think I had said on the show not too long ago that I feel like it had Tyler Glasnow had maybe a month more of the season to play, he might have had a chance for the American League Cy Young. But in the month of September, he's really struggled. Not really struggled. It shouldn't be that severe. But he kind of ended a lot of his starts on a poor note. And then the bullpen wouldn't help him out much at all. So I'm still gonna go with Tyler Glasnow, but I don't say that with the confidence that I would have said it a month ago.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be Zach Eflin, man. It's got to be a big free agent signing by the Rays this offseason. The most money they've ever spent on anybody. So already going into the season, we had high hopes for this guy, and he definitely delivered. I just want to go through his stats real quick. So 177.2 innings pitched, that's a career high. A 3.50 earned run average, that's also career high. 1.02 whip, career high. 3.01 FIP, career high. 26.6 strikeout percentage and 3.5 walk percentage, which is also career high. So this guy definitely delivered for the team what mattered most. And he had some shaky starts, but overall, all year, I'd say he is one person who, going up to the mound day after day, we were able to rely on and had confidence in that he was going to get it done. So for me, Cy Young has got to go to Zach Eflin. He's in the postseason again. Wherever he goes, seems like he's in the postseason now 2 years in a row. So let's see what he can do. I'm excited to see how he's going to do in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Will here. I totally agree. I think out of all the Rays starters and just pitchers in general, I think Zach Eflin we could have the most confidence in. I think something about just his consistent pitches, you kind of knew what to expect, and he delivered some really quality at-bats and just was able to strike out a lot of guys and just get the outs he needed. And I think we could see a difference between him and a lot of the other Rays starting pitchers, and just I'm really glad we picked him up, and I hope he can stay with the Rays for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, if I know this is an outdated stat, but Zach Eflin was tied for first in the American League in wins. He was 16-8. He had 16 wins, and I know, a pitcher can't win without their lineup. A pitcher can lose games that they should have won by the way they're pitching. I know it's an outdated stat, but if you're winning when someone's pitching on the mound, I mean that says something good about the pitcher. I mean, Matt, where do you land in this race?
I do think it's Tyler Glasnow, but just for the sake of discussion, I'm going to throw Colin Poche out there. Just because, it's nice to have that steady arm in the bullpen and, kind of, settle the storm, whether he, comes into a bad situation or just continue, a solid pitching out from the starter and just, guide us to a win anytime he comes in.
And I know Will and Joel are going to come up here, but
I'm itching for it.
For the sake of this, I was looking at, I knew Glasnow and Eflin was probably going to be our tightest debate of the night, but I'm looking and I'm like, you got to throw in one reliever, you got to throw in one reliever. We haven't had a lot of starters, but I'm like, it's probably going to be Peter Robert Stevenson, and I'm like, these numbers are good, but Colin Poche has a better ERA than them, and he's thrown 15 more innings than them. And maybe his whip's not as good, but Colin Poche has been on this team. I don't think he might have gone on the IL once, but he's been on the team the whole year, and he's pitched great. He's developed that slider that's changed his whole entire outlook. He's going to be a huge pitcher for us in the playoffs. I don't think he is the Cy Young, but I'm with Matt. If we were going to put a reliever on this list, it's got to be Colin Poche. Just has to be.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is he not the longest tenured Rays player?
Yeah, I think he is.
I think it's 2019.
Shout out.
I think he.
It's not hard to do with the Rays, but
Hey, deserves to be mentioned.
I think he might be 18.
we stuck him around.
We
we
got
kept him.
You got
Yeah.
Tommy, man.
I know. I still look to the past. I still look at last year, and I have some quarrels with him. But I will have to give him his flowers. For this season, I still think, though, I need to see it in the playoffs still. I need to see it in the postseason coming up.
Fair enough.
To really go, okay, this guy's had a Cy Young type season that would beat out Glasnow or Eflin. But I also think too, you can't leave out Bob Steve either, man. What a run that guy had. They picked him up in June, and kind of a nobody.
I think he'd be here if he was on the Rays for the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that too, but still, they pick him up in June. Kind of don't know anything about him, but the Rays do that so well all the time as they turn these guys into gems. And I think the big hitless streak for a month we saw late in the season is huge. So got to shout out him too. You can't leave out Bob Steve up there for relievers.
I will give Colin Poche the flowers he deserves, but that's not without me saying I cringed every time he came into the game. And every time I got comfortable with him, he would let me down.
I get that.
But, I mean...
You just haven't fully healed from those blown games.
And
It's hard to heal
Every
from
once
those.
in a while,
It
he would be
is.
like, "Oh, you're healing. Let me just mess that up for you."
All right. So we're going to do our hand thing again, and I'll keep you guys posted. But I think we're going to be close, man. All right. Raise your hand if you think Tyler Glasnow is this year's Cy Young for the Rays. Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
Two?
Two. All right. Now raise your hand if you think Zach Eflin is this year's Cy Young for the Rays. That is a 3-2 vote.
You did say it'd be close.
Congratulations, Zach Eflin, for being the 2023 Cy Young. I think, for me personally, it was close. They're both great options. I'm excited to see them pitch in the playoffs. But the 50-plus innings that Zach Eflin has as opposed to Tyler Glasnow, because I think Glasnow had 120 and Zach Eflin had about 177. those innings matter, man. And Zach Eflin's been a steady horse through a bunch of turmoil for our starting rotation. And for that reason, and for him to be so consistent and so often giving quality starts, I think that's why I went Zach Eflin. But you can't go wrong.
Something that I kind of started to notice with Tyler Glasnow in his struggles through September is coming off that Tommy John surgery. He's probably starting to reach some of those limits. Like he's going to go through the postseason, but I imagine he's getting a little bit fatigued. So that's my one defense toward Glasnow. So I think had we had him this whole year, like we'd be looking even better.
All right, so we have to do a little pause in this action because Matt just got here, but Matt is getting paged right now. No, never mind. We're gonna keep moving.
Well, I think one thing we should do, and we'll get that out. We'll put some polls on our socials.
Yeah.
So we can let you, the fan, decide
Great
who was the
idea.
MVP in the Cy Young.
Yeah, I was
Are
supposed
we
to-
right? Are we wrong?
I was supposed to do that a couple weeks ago for like when we did Player of the Month or something, and it just didn't happen. So
I think
I
well,
will
no,
do it next
didn't you
time.
just say didn't you put in the comments do you agree?
Or
or
I
something
do that
like
on.
that? I
I
think
do
it was
that.
like a poll,
I
like-
do that on every reel.
Maybe.
I want
The comments aren't coming through.
They're not. They're
We
not.
need
but
more engagement.
they're not. But they're gonna one day, man.
Hit
You
us
gotta
up.
keep-
Tell
gotta
us
keep-
what you're feeling, guys.
Yes, rant to us. We want to be ranted to. All right, next award. We will be heading to the MIP, the Most Improved Player. So, I think, all right, you know what? I'm going to talk about Jose Siri. Because Jose Siri hasn't been playing the last couple of weeks, but we got to remember that he does not care what you think. And we have to remember that he was one of the biggest reasons for this leap that we've had. Jose Siri, night in, night out, whether he's being silly or not, plays in elite center field. He tracks down balls that center fielders have to dive or slide to. He gets to balls that no one else can. He's lightning fast. He plays in elite center field. However, this year, Jose Siri's power bat came through.
Oh, yeah.
So, when we look at most improved player, Jose Siri last year, splitting time between Astros and Rays, had a 659 OPS. Not very good. Below average. And you look at this year, with the elite defense, playing center field, stuff like that, he bumped it all the way up to a 761 OPS. That is more than average. That's pretty good. It's not elite or anything, but it's good. And he's playing elite defense and stealing bases and has elite speed. So, for me, I think Jose Siri needs to be right in the thick of this conversation for most improved player.
Another thing too with Jose Siri that I really appreciated, I saw it more at the beginning of the year, but it seemed like when he was hitting home runs, he was hitting multi-run home runs. Like it wasn't just that solo. Like he'd be getting like a 2-run home run or a 3-run home run, and it was just like I didn't know a Rays player could do this.
Yeah, he was nice to have like a little 7, 8, 9 hole absolute bopping bat. Like that's nice, man. Nice to have some power that low in the lineup.
And he also has the intangibles like crowd play or just like overall swagger that
Oh, yeah, he does.
doesn't get put into the stat books.
Kids, don't try this at home.
Dude, I love, I think it's just fun to see what Jose Siri will do before a routine fly ball because you never know what's going to happen.
It's so scary. It's like there's
Oh, yeah,
it could mess up at any moment.
That kind of scares me when he does that stuff. I like Jose Siri. I don't know if I could give him most improved though. He battled some injuries, but I still just feel like he's a little inconsistent. And I really think that the dreads cursed us, man. That's when it started to go downhill.
That's a good point.
He changed his hair up after a big win streak. He throws the dreads on.
Plus,
and
they
then-
weren't real. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either because he
No,
had
they were
short
like,
hair.
They were
They're like
extensions, yeah.
Like what Jimmy Butler did.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, you can't mix it up like that. Baseball's so superstitious. And you pull something like that. And, Randy, he throws on the long hair.
That was,
Then they
for a
start doing
day.
bad, and he gets it, immediately gets rid of it. So, and Jose C. kept it for a minute. Yeah, he's just a little too inconsistent for me. And it's funny, but I don't appreciate where it's like you're watching a game, and it's like, where's Jose? He's in the outfield, walking around. He's in the freaking bullpen.
Getting a corn dog.
Yeah, he's getting a stinger dog up in section 127. Dude, I don't know. So I like him. He's an electric player. But yeah, I don't know if he's gonna get the award from me. Disrespect.
Well then, All right, well, then who would be your nominee for this award?
Honestly, I think I would have to give it to Josh Lowe. I think he gets 2 for 2. Okay, I guess not 2 for 2. We gave it to Yandy Diaz, but I think Josh Lowe's most improved. Man, you have to give it to him. We've said enough about him. He's a great looking guy too, man. Just so handsome. But yeah, I'd say he's most improved for me. I'd say you can throw a little curveball in here. Say like Zach Littell. That's like most improved throughout the season. They gave him a big role, turned him into a starter, and he had some great quality starts, man. And I think that can't go unnoticed. And a lot of those too, we gave him 0 run support in those starts. So yeah, I'd say you could kind of flip it around a little bit, say most improved for him from the start of the season to the end.
Because he could have been even better, because pitching under that kind of stress, because that close game, like you're really wearing on yourself and stuff.
I mean, he was most improved. He wasn't on a baseball team at the beginning of the year. He was. Yeah. He's
from reliever.
No, I'm saying, but he's on the open market, and now he's a pivotal part of a playoff team's rotation.
Littell also has the same walk ratio as Eflin if they play the same amount of games.
Yeah,
that's
elite stuff.
That's a good stat.
So,
wow. Good stat, man.
Coming on here and pull out that
It's
stat.
pretty solid.
And I know Ethan has someone he's been dying to talk about for most
I think he's on
player.
Instagram.
No, he's grinding.
Oh, he's grinding.
Okay,
But
to be honest, I'm in between 2 people, and I feel like it was 2 players we had last year that when they would come up to bat, I'd be like, all right, these guys, like, they're probably not getting a hit. And it was Isak Paredes and Harold Ramirez. For some reason, I feel like they came over to the Rays at kind of the same time.
Agree,
Kind of were in the same phase of development. And this year compared to last year, I think that they're, like, not even recognizable. Obviously, Isak Paredes is a lot better stat-wise than Harold Ramirez, but I just want to shout out Harold Ramirez. I think he's got potential to just be even better next year, but I'll just say, like, he doubled his home runs. He's got 12 home runs this year. He had 6 last year, and that's just, good to see. I think he's a lot more of a reliable player than he for sure was last year, so.
And that's
my
they
pick.
play him as much. They play him as much as they should.
Yeah,
Sometimes, not really.
Yeah. Here, I'll bring up the worst for last. So, nobody's going to agree with me on this, but it deserves to be said. Taylor Walls. He sucked so bad last year. But at like the first third of this season,
Joel, you're always polarizing.
you'd see him get a hit, and he just randomly gets some home runs.
Okay.
Listen, I got mixed feelings.
He's been on web jams a few times.
His defense last year
was
Gold Glove, like MVP defense. I think he outplayed almost every shortstop in the league last year.
I don't know what
this
happened.
year.
I don't know what happened.
He
the
forgot
last,
how to
like,
play
month.
defense.
But okay, so there's
Something about him,
I don't
man.
know if you guys are within the Rays meme page community, but for a while, for like his entire career, the meme would be like the Kevin Harlan like freaking out, and the text would be Taylor Walls has reached first base, and it's like he's freaking out. But for like a month, in like May, right, a month when Taylor Walls is hot, that meme disappeared because he was reaching base so much that it couldn't even make that meme because he was playing so good, and then June hit, and then he got hurt in July, and then since he came back, it hasn't been right. But I don't disagree with that pick. I want to go back to Harold.
I'll give him like 6
I disagree.
weeks. Like I could go look at the stats and be like, hey, there's some gold.
There's
there,
definitely
too.
some
Yeah,
improvement.
then he comes back after injury and
He's booting
the
ground balls.
pregnancy list. Yeah, and then he's freaking.
I mean,
He most improved because he has a child.
yeah,
That's
the,
right.
The dad strength didn't.
Is it
come to him.
distracting him though? Is it distracting him from his play on the field?
So he deserves.
Must
to
be.
brought up.
I want to go back to Harold because Ethan's right. I think Harold should be on this list, especially because Harold Ramirez last year was one of the few bright spots of the 2022 offense because we got him in a trade for like cash considerations at the beginning of the year. We didn't know what he was going to be like, and he hit over 300, and that's crazy. And to improve on that, Harold Ramirez hit 313 this year, and his OPS went from a 747 to an 813. And I'll remind you guys, OPS is the stat that combines slugging percentage on base. And over 800 OPS is extremely good. That is what you, at the beginning of the season, you strive for as a starting MLB player. And that's like a great goal to have and great achievement. So shout out to Harold for having over 800 OPS, and shout out to him for being a bright spot and even being an even brighter spot this year. And like Ethan said, he did kind of the same thing Yandy Diaz did and added some pop to his game, which is great. And he's been kind of been on a home run streak recently, so I think we might get some in October.
Hope so.
Love to see that, man. Love to see any kind of runs in the postseason. It's been about 2 years.
Oh, gosh. All right, we'll get to that later. But, all right, so unless you guys have something else, let's do the vote. So, if you think Josh Lowe was the most improved player for the Rays this year, raise your hand.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
That's
let's hear the
okay. So that was 4 out of the 5. Not Josh Lowe. He was Matt. Who would you have voted for?
So I'm just gonna go out there on a limb and say Yandy Diaz because
That's not a bad pick, actually.
Actually,
No, that's
I
not.
think just because the difference from last year to this year is like it's night and day, and he was still like one of the best like first baseman / like third baseman in the league, definitely in the AL. And now he's just like kind of extended to the superstar status, possibly MVP status.
Yeah.
So it's like insane, like just like the level he's brought his game to, and like also since we like had a little bit of a leadership hole after Kiermaier left, he's kind of filled that in.
Dude,
Thank you.
We talk about how
Thank
Yandy Diaz is
you.
the clubhouse leader
Thank
every
you,
day.
man.
No,
Like,
it's
it's
been
gotta
sweet.
be.
We
Thank
see
you.
so much on the field, obviously, but like we don't know what happens like always in the dugout, and definitely not in like the clubhouse or like just like traveling, like the effect he has on the players or could have. Like I bet it's like irreplaceable at this point. So it's definitely my pick for most improved.
So that's 1 out of 5 for Yandy Diaz. Great point, Matt. I agree. I just think Josh Lowe was so bad last year that him being like an elite player this
No,
year.
obviously, yeah.
So that's why on paper
You guys aren't
can't go
delusional.
wrong. You can't
Trust
go
me.
wrong. Can't go wrong. But all right, so we got to talk about one, which is actually kind of a light category for the Rays this year. But that would be Rookie of the Year. So there's an obvious answer, and it doesn't really have to be. But Josh Lowe is a rookie this year, technically. So
Let's just
He
forget.
should-
Let's just pretend he doesn't exist.
He-
for
Why
now.
don't we
should-
include the St. Pete Pup of the year? How about we
sure,
could do
yeah,
that?
that's
St. Pete Pup.
Josh Lowe don't count.
That's
You're too
guys
good
who are
for this.
getting their first
So-
burn this year.
Here's my options in my eyes. We got Kevin Kelly, rookie, sidearmer out of the bullpen, has been really good. Went I think 28 scoreless innings in the middle of the season. Was a very long streak. Was very good. Rock solid for the bullpen for the majority of the year. We have Taj Bradley. Had some good and bad games.
Okay, we can't hate on Taj.
No, has some good and
I
bad
like
games.
him, I like
He's
him.
got a lot of
He ate the innings.
Yeah, he 8 innings. He's got a lot of promise, and he's done a lot. And then we have Rene Pinto. Rene Pinto came up in.
Mine's not on the list.
Rene Pinto came up in the.
He did get some burn last year.
He
though.
did get some burn, but he's technically a rookie.
Technically
He
a
came up for the past, I think it's been like 30, 40 games. He's been really good, hitting home runs, hitting singles, doubles, getting on base, not blocking pitches,
Would like to
but
see some
he frames the
pitch
ball
work.
good.
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
Also, God-fearing man.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
that's
he was
good point.
great day.
And then if anyone wants to take a stab at Junior, Curtis Mead or Oslevis, those guys are all rookies, but they have very limited playing time. So, Ethan, you seem like you're worked up right now. Give me who your St. Pete Pup of the Year would be.
I just gotta say, Oslevis Basabe. I think we were frankly pretty depressed during the Wander Franco situation. Now we're kind of just like screw him, but when we pulled up Oslevis, he did what he needed to do. He got some hits. He got some one dinger, couple.
You had a grand slam, baby.
Oh,
Even
man.
better.
The best kind
My
of
point
dinger.
exactly. In all seriousness, I think next year he's got a lot of potential, and I'm just excited to see him get some more playing time.
Every time it seems like he's in the lineup, which is only like once a week because we're weird like that. It seems like he gets like a hit. I was looking at it. He had like a 5-game stretch where he didn't get a hit, and it seemed like they kind of took his playing time and leave even a little bit more. But before that, it was like whenever he was playing, he'd always get 1 or 2 hits, and he's got great defense. It's like I fully agree with Ethan. Like,
Good point, Joel.
Thanks.
I think, in my eyes, I think Kevin Kelly should win this award. Kevin Kelly has been coming out of the bullpen. He pitches in the middle of the game. He'll go 2 innings, 1 inning. He'll get your righties, he'll get your lefties, strikeouts, ground balls, come into a jam, get out of the jam. Like I said, the scoreless streak. He's been a pleasant surprise. He's taken over the Ryan Thompson role and maybe done it better than Ryan Thompson. That's another topic for another day.
I still miss you.
We miss Ryan Thompson. We loved him.
You threw me a piece of bubble gum one time.
There you go.
He hugged me.
But Kevin Kelly has been rock solid out of the bullpen, and I think he should be the St. Pete Pup of the year. And he also wears awesome outfits. Like he wore boots and a cowboy outfit in Texas, and he also wore a full football giddy-up and caught a touchdown pass to the Monday Night Football music a couple weeks ago. It was a Baker Mayfield jersey, too. So
except he cursed him because the Bucs
I was
lost. The
gonna
Bucs
say.
lost
but
the
they
Monday night
but
game.
they uncursed, and now they're 3-1. But that's
Bucks won, by the way, today.
yes.
Fire the cannons.
Fire. We still fire the cannons.
Can't go a TV3 podcast up shouting out the Bucs.
Yeah,
It's
but
true.
yeah, that's why I
You
think
get your Bucks talk.
Kevin Kelly should win this award.
I'm sorry, but it's Rene Pinto. We were struggling with catcher. Francisco Mejia goes down. We are toast. We're a sinking ship, and he comes in, and he's just like, "Here you go, I got you. I'll give you some hits," and he did.
Yeah.
He did just that.
And he does big hits,
Yeah.
home runs,
Clutch,
doubles. It's
clutch,
crazy.
Clutch.
This is tough. And, dude, the start of the year with him, everybody was hating on him because he wasn't really on the same page with some of our new pitchers.
Some of us around us have hated on him.
Yeah, we were hard on him, but I think you had to give him some time, and he sure as heck delivered. Man, this is tough because I would like to give it to Pinto. I really would.
All right.
But,
All right.
dude, man, I just can't get enough of Junior Cabanero, man.
Oh.
If we had a whole season of him,
Oh,
man.
next year I'm so excited.
Yeah,
His
next year's
swing
gonna
is
be
so
crazy.
raw. I called that home run. He got it on the last day of the week. Let's go. But, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to vote for it. Everyone raise your
We're all
hands.
gonna have like one hand for each.
This is
If
gonna
you
be a
think
toss-up.
Rene Pinto is this 2023 St. Pete Pup of the Year.
Joel sold me on it. He sold
All
me
right.
on it. Give me Pinto.
All right, raise your hand if you think Kevin Kelly should be the 2023 St. Pete Pup of the Year.
Ooh.
Okay. And then raise your hand if you think, Matt, who do you want?
No, dude, continue.
Raise your hand if you
He
think
wants all of them.
Taj Bradley. No, not Taj. Oslevis Basabi Jr.
Jonathan Aranda.
You got a grand
I gotta
slam
go
today.
with Curtis Mead.
Okay.
I'm hearing echoes of a Longo resurgence with him and how he has similarities within his swing and he has similarities in the way he plays third. And he also hit a home run
into 162.
into
landing.
162, which is a little prophetic.
It,
I think.
Whoa.
it made me give me some goosebumps.
So he's on the playoff roster, right?
We don't know the playoff roster
Okay.
yet,
No,
but I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Well,
I
we
think
know
he.
somebody who won't be. Oh, man. We know somebody who won't be. Breaking news out of the Tampa Bay Rays. Cooper Criswell is called back up,
No, bro.
and the Rays have DFA'd Erasmo Ramirez.
Will has
I didn't
been
know
See
praying
you
on
later,
his
buddy.
Until
See
next
ya
time,
later.
Erasmus. We'll see you in 2 years.
Will's been praying on that man's downfall, but he finally got his wish. But yeah, I think Curtis Mead's a good pick. The
I like his future.
Prophet, yeah, and I think he's going to be a sneaky big playoff contributor. But Matt, we're 2-2. 2 people voted for Pinto, 2 people voted for Kevin Kelly. So we need you to break the tie.
I'm a sucker for a good pitcher, so we're gonna go Kelly, bro.
All right, Kevin Kelly,
Sorry.
you are the 2023
gross.
St. Pete Pup of the Year. So shout out to you. And now we're gonna just take a stroll through memory lane. So we are gonna first start with our least favorite game that we watched this year from Rays baseball. I went through the whole schedule this today, and I found a few games that I remembered and that they broke my heart. But I'm gonna start with Will. What was your least favorite game you watched this year?
Least favorite, let me take you way back to May of this year. It seems like forever ago. But the Rays faced their division rivals, the Toronto Blue Jays, and just so happened to lose that game 20-1. Man, it happens in baseball. You get the score run up on you sometimes and start putting in position players. But after they start off so hot and then only a couple weeks later they lose 20-1, it just kind of stuck with me, man. I hate seeing that. It was in the Trop. and it's against a divisional foe. And you know what? I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm kind of a Kevin Kiermaier hater. So anytime he beats the Rays, it just makes my blood boil. Just infuriates me so much. So yeah, give me that one, a 20-1 loss.
And that is also my pick. It's one of those games where it's like you just kind of watch it for the sake of the hysterical aspect of it, because like all you can do is really laugh at it, because that's all it is a joke at that point, and it's like it's not even like competitive. So yeah, it's embarrassing for sure, but you know it's okay because the Jays suck. So.
Yeah, and me and Matt went on a road trip together. For that, we were hoping for 3 hours of entertainment for our ride, and lo and behold,
We got some
lo
entertainment.
and behold, we got 15 minutes because the game was over in like the third inning. So we turned that off promptly, and watched something else. But yeah, that was a terrible game. Ethan, what do you got for me? Bring some bad memories up.
So to be honest, I mean, I seem to be the most upset that we didn't hit 100 wins.
It really seems that way.
I'm really mad that we couldn't do it. And all these games that we're talking about are all games that if we would have won, we could have hit that 100 mark. So it feels even worse thinking about it now. But to be honest, this last game against the Blue Jays, I really just think we could have pulled through with the win, got to the 100 mark, and we didn't. So I'm picking that September 29th. I mean, it's the most relevant pain that I'm feeling right now. And, of course, it doesn't really matter. You know, we got the playoff spot. We got the wild card spot. But, I don't know, just unsatisfying for me. Yeah, and then, I mean, there's a lot of pain. But, yeah, that's my pick right there.
So my pick, I got two. I'll just mention them quick. It was early in the season, the Astros. I want to say it was either one of the maybe the first game we lost, or it was like the first extended time of losing we had. It stung so bad. So that's just my quick one. The one that hurt my soul in so many ways. It was a Wednesday night. We were playing the Mets, and it was one of Fairbanks' first blown saves. Goes to extra innings. And then Peter Fairbanks, the Tampa polar bear, kills my heart.
Pete Alonso.
What did I just say?
Pete Fairbanks. Pete Fairbanks killed your heart too.
Pete Fairbanks killed my heart.
You're a
I
Pete
thought we were
Fairbanks
giving-
hater,
So
dude.
Pete Fairbanks hurt me,
That game
and then
game hurt,
Pete
man.
Alonso hurt me. So the
Oh my
Pete's that
gosh.
night just
I thought
hurt me so
I
bad.
thought we were giving Pete Fairbanks a new nickname. I was
That
like,
game-
that could work.
that
Snake
game-
Eyes Pete. That's
Yeah.
mine.
Oh,
Snake Eyes
that game
Pete.
hurt
Mad
so
Max.
bad.
That game did hurt. It was like it didn't even matter.
I remember.
I was oh my gosh, we were at pickleball, man. We were
Yeah, I was watching on my phone.
at pickleball.
You guys are like, "Are we still winning?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Did we win?" I'm like,
I think it was
"No."
mid-game, and Joel said we
Even
just
Mr.
lost.
Gretsch was sad, bro.
From now on.
Hey, shout out Mr. Gretsch.
Yep, shout out.
From now on, we need a stat for when the Rays win or lose it when we're playing pickleball.
Yeah.
That could determine whether
It
or
was
not
like-
I
we play
feel like
It was
I remember
500.
more wins. I feel like I remember more wins.
I feel like I remember more losses.
Yeah, we lost a lot. That was always sad watching my phone.
And then I don't know.
I think another one to bring up was losing the streak against
For
the
sure.
Blue Jays again.
Yeah.
Because you just expected Rasmussen to come in and kind of lock it down. And he looked
Lead
super
off home
nervous.
run.
Yeah, he looked super nervous, and I think the whole team was just kind of worked up because they were going on history there. And there's something magical about baseball history because it goes way back into the Civil War days. So yeah, you got to bring that one up as being a tough game too.
Yeah,
Tough one to remember.
and I got like four more that I got to talk about.
So, but while he's looking it up, the reason that Astros series stunk is because all media was like, "Well, the Rays haven't beaten anybody good. The Rays haven't beaten
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
good." And it was like the Astros beat up on us. I was like, "See, they haven't beat anybody
We
good."
lost 2 out of 3, and the last game was a 1-0 one, and that one hurt. I remember
Like that
Yeah.
that series. Like I don't specifically remember the games, but that was a terrible series.
That did suck.
Then all right. So I'm looking at. I had that Mets game down. So terrible. Now I'm looking at July 6th, when the Rays lose in 11 innings to the Philadelphia Phillies. They lose 3-1. It was 1-1 going into extras, and this game brought their losing streak up to 5 games in a row. It ended up being 7. And that was probably like the worst week of my life, if I'm not being dramatic. But it was just every night was a Rays loss, and it was terrible, and no one could hit, and we were ice cold, and I hated it. And then I'm looking at July 17th in Texas when Pete Fairbanks throws a walk-off wild pitch, and that was in the thick of we're trying to fend off the Orioles, and we're throwing walk-off wild pitches. We were up 2-0 in that game, too. And I think it was the last good Shane McClanahan start, but that was a terrible game. And then I'm looking at September 2nd, where the Rays lost 7-6 to the Cleveland Guardians in Progressive Field, where we thought we were cursed because the Rays blow 2 saves, 2 leads, one by Pete Fairbanks, one by Davinsky Code, and the Rays lose that game in 11 innings. They've kind of fixed Davinsky, honestly. That's a different story, but yeah, that game was brutal, and I was getting Wildcard flashbacks. And then I think the worst one of them all, I think this would be my pick for big boy terrible game. I'm looking at September 17th in Camden Yards, Sunday afternoon, with a chance to tie the division lead. The Rays, Pete Fairbanks blows a save, and the Rays end up.
Enough with the Pete slander.
I'm just saying, this is when your closer blows the game, it's a hurtful game. That's what's going to happen. But the Rays lose that game 5-4. They blow 2 leads with 2 outs. The Orioles hit these lucky hits. And, yeah, that game sucked. That would be my least favorite, was that last Orioles game, because it meant so much and it was so hurtful.
There were so many tough games. Like that one White Sox game deserves a quick mention.
Oh, yeah, that game was terrible.
Oh,
There's 162 of them, man. There's
The month of July.
There's plenty of them there.
God.
You just put the month of July up there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think let's get to the positives.
Don't get too bogged
Yes,
down.
we
Rays.
got plenty of
We're
awesome
in the playoffs.
games.
It's okay. We
We have
got
plenty
there.
of awesome games, and I want to ask you, Matthew Conrad, what was your favorite Rays game this season?
I don't remember the date exactly, but it's the one where we versed the Pirates, and it's when the Pirates were kind of cooking early on, and that like a lot of people thought like they could be like a serious team like later on in the season, but like that obviously was proven to be wrong. But then like they were really good, and it made for some good baseball. And then yeah, it was just a fun time because like we all went, like or most of us went here, and it was just a fond memory for me.
Yeah, I think Josh Fleming picked up the win in that game.
Perhaps. Maybe that's what makes it significant.
That's
My boy.
That's a
Rest
fun
easy, bro.
throwback. Yeah, rest easy. All right, Ethan, what's yours? Come on.
I mean, I got another game that I was at as well. This was a Sunday afternoon game. Those are usually pretty good at the Trop, I won't lie. This is a walk-off against the Cleveland Guardians. Something about when TB3 Nash is in the building. Well, at least when I'm there. It's a pretty good game. We got some kind of magic, and so pulled the walk-off with all my boys, and that was, pretty surprising.
It was off Emmanuel Clase.
Colby's
really
got another one.
Randy
Honorable
walk-off.
mention.
There's just something about Faith Day, man. There's something
2
about
walk-offs in a row.
Faith
Yeah,
Day.
That's what I'm saying. And then, the other game that Ethan's mentioning that me and Ethan were both in attendance for, Joel was here too, was on May 7th in Tropicana Field, the rubber match, Rays versus Yankees.
The Trop was hot.
The first season, Upper Decks open, biggest crowd of
Oh,
the season.
yeah.
And the big bad Yankees trying to get back to their big bad status go up 6-0 with Garrett Cole on the bump. And you know what they do? They blow that lead. Christian Bethancourt 3-run bomb, dead center. Are you kidding me? And then the Rays end up winning that game 8-7 on Isaac Paredes walk-off. And we were in the building. It was electric. Ethan was wearing a choke, the official drink of the Yankees shirt.
That's
it was
right.
awesome. Great game. And then Will, come on.
Man, I think for me too, it has to be Faith Day, man. Seeing a walk-off, battling with the Guardians, that one was big. But there's just 2 that stick out to me as well. I think we go back way early into the season. I think seeing them battle back against the Nationals to keep the streak was huge. And then the one that stuck out to me the most was the Red Sox game. Jeffrey Springs goes down. And you go, oh no, the streak is done. We don't know what's wrong with Jeffrey Springs, but the Rays battle back and win the game. And I think you can talk all you want and say how the Red Sox, they were battling all throughout the year. They were keeping it close in the playoff hunt. The Rays ended their season right there. That team was defeated. That locker room was dead. silent. I mean, it looked like somebody died in that Red Sox locker room. The Rays ended their season right off the rip. Also, one more, got to shout out the game against the Angels where you give up a big blast, you give up a triple play, and you still find a way to win because that's what this team is all about. They're about winning.
Resilient.
You know what I call that game? The never back down, never what?
Never
game.
give up.
Yeah, that's what I call it because they just didn't get. That game was crazy. It was like 1 a.m. I was delirious, and the Rays just pulled out off pure raw emotion.
All right, so I'm going with the August series against the Rockies. We swept the series, but the Wednesday and Thursday games were so good. So I'll just specifically look at the Wednesday game just because we go up 1 run. Rockies come right back. We get another run, so we're up 2-1. And then what do the Rockies do? They get 4. I think it was a grand slam, but don't quote me on that. Then so we're down 5-2. And for the rest of the game, we just slowly are chipping away. And this is during a time where I think we had like 3 walk-offs in like a really short span. So we tied up in the 9th. Yeah, who gets it? Yanni Diaz got it. And then in the 10th, Brandon Lau singled and Oslevi Basabe.
That's right.
Oslevis Basabe.
Oslevis Basabe scores.
Close.
So, I mean, it wasn't the best game, but, like, I just remember watching that game being so deflated. And then just to watch it, when Diaz got the home run that tied in the 9th, I was floating.
Yeah.
Like a balloon.
Just
Yeah.
like a
Because you were
balloon.
And then,
inflated.
I mean, and that game featured the biggest blown call of the season, where Mr. Paredes is on the bag, and they're like, I don't know, it's not conclusive evidence, and we have to play an extra inning, even though the game should have been over.
Oh, man, yeah.
And then the Rays win anyways.
Justice was served.
Yep. And then, I mean,
don't lie.
also want to talk about the Rays 7-5 win over the Mariners on September 9th. That was just cool because that was a Yandy Diaz walk-off home run game, and it was just cool to see our superstar get his signature moment with 2 outs, opposite field of laser, into the night for the Rays win. Light the dome up, you know what I'm saying?
Light the dome. They got to bring that to the next stadium. I need to
Please.
see that thing orange.
They need to do
And-
what the Kings do with like the beam.
Yeah, light the beam.
that'd be so
yeah, light the beam.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, I feel like the trop needs to be even brighter too. Like you go around at night and it's like a little. You see hints of orange. You need that thing like bright,
Like,
like
just turn the light on.
lighting up the whole city. Like you can see it from the space station.
They do need
I
like
agree.
they need the beam, man. That's what they need. But all right, that is your 2023 Rays season. It brought us so much joy, so much happiness, so much ups and downs, so much anger and hate too. But I mean, that was a great season, but it's not over.
One thing I'll
yes.
say, the attendance was up this year. It's not great, but it was
job,
in
fans.
2022 it was 13,927. This season it was 17,782.
That's good.
So
That's a
I mean,
huge
like,
increase.
it's not the best. Like we still are not great fans, but we're
It felt
grow-
different.
we're
It
growing.
felt
We're
different
growing.
in that building.
This
did.
season was so much different.
It was.
so
It was
grown.
so much better.
Trop
We're
is
at-
rocking.
Next year, let's get that 20,000 mark.
Dude, if we can get average 20,000, that's insane.
Like we used to do it, we can do it again.
But
So good job, fans.
yeah, good
Let's-
job, fans. That was a
let's-
good point, Joel.
let's
I'm
do-
glad
let's-
you brought
let's
that
do
up.
even better next year.
That's good. But we still have games in Tropicana Field. We still have moments to be happy because the Rays have a wild card series, and we just learned today that the Rays will be hosting the Texas Rangers for 3 games. It's win or go home. You got to win 2 out of 3. That's all you got to do. And I mean, we're looking at these games. Here's what I'm thinking. We don't have any official starting pitching matchups, but here's what I would slate out. Game 1, I'm thinking we will have Tyler Glasnow.
They
and-
for sure do have Glasnow.
Yes.
Glasnow won it.
And then I'm thinking the Rangers will have Nathan Eovaldi, former Ray, up in the bump. And
It's
then
gonna be tough.
Game,
He's good.
Game 2, we will have Zach Eflin, and I'm pretty sure they will end up having Jordan Montgomery on the bump. And then Game 3 will get a little hairy. It will probably be do or die bullpen. I don't know if the Rays will go Savali or Littell. Hopefully we don't have to get there. But I don't know if they'll go
Not
either of them. And then
Bring out Taj.
I'm assuming, heck no. Then I'm assuming Dane Dunning will go for the Rangers. But I mean, I look at these pitching matchups.
He's
I
trash.
like our chances, man. So Matt, what sticks out to you about this Rangers series?
So, one thing I will say, there's going to be a little bit of a brotherly rivalry with Nate Lowe and Josh Lowe.
Oh, yeah.
And that could pose
They're not going
some,
to shut up about
some
that.
serious.
Did you know they're
entertainment.
brothers?
Somebody's crying. Somebody's leaving that.
I think
It'll be Nate.
ultimately Josh Lowe, I think, will get the upper hand just because he's the better looking brother. They both have similar swings.
That's
though.
no cap.
That's the only thing.
He's just so handsome, man. I can't stop talking.
Josh
about
Lowe
him.
is definitely the better looking brother.
Player that,
Sorry, Nate.
Sorry, Nate.
Player that the pitchers need to be conscious of on the Rays is definitely Avisail Garcia. He rakes. I'm pretty sure he had like a 7 or 8 RBI game early on in the season, and that's like not easy. So like, yeah, I just need to be careful about him, and I'm pretty sure like the whole team rakes too. Obviously, they made it this far, so.
I didn't want to clear up. It's Adolis Garcia.
Oh, is it?
Avisail is a former Ray.
That's
now he's
right.
on the Marlins.
He's a goat.
It's all right. He's a goat. No, I know.
He also rakes.
Yeah, like I think we all know what you're saying, but like I just don't want any people to be like, oh, he's on that team. He hit the Wildcard banner or the 08 championship banner. You know, that's
They're
fine.
putting up another one, bro. Wildcard banner.
No,
It's coming.
they're putting up a
Oh,
World
that's so
Series
stupid.
banner.
Please give me a World Series banner.
Yes, I mean, you look at the Rays in 2023, they were 2-4 against the Rangers. They took 2 out of 3 at the Trop, which is a good sign, but they got swept in Arlington. That was in July, so it doesn't count. But the Rays ended up with a -2 run differential against the Rangers, so these games were close. They were tight, back and forth. So, I mean, I don't know how much you can take from these regular season games, but Joel, what is one player or pitcher that we need to look for on the Rays?
All right, so for the Rays, I'm going to go with Aaron Chevali. He has not looked good at all since we've traded for him. We got him to bolster the rotation, and I looked into it. He has only pitched 6 innings one time since he's been on the Rays, and his ERA has gone up a run. And it's just there's not any sense of confidence I have going into the series with him. He will likely be the Game 3 starter for us if we get to that. And if we get to that, I don't like our chances.
It's fair.
Gotta put him away early, man.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Dane Dunning for the Rangers is not
It will,
like that.
it will be who out hits who.
It will be.
let me say this.
I think that's going to be. I don't know. Two pretty deadly lineups though, both ways.
Dane Dunning sucks in MLB The Show, and my player raked off him like 2 home runs a game almost. So like, take that for what you will.
All right, and Ethan, what are you looking for in this series from the Rays?
I think we're all gonna agree on this. I think it's really, really, really necessary for us to win the series. Is playoff Randy.
Ooh, yeah.
We need playoff Randy now more than ever. It's like Batman. We need him.
That's true.
It's like Larry Boy.
We
for
need
you,
him.
man.
That's true.
Need to like the
I
bat
put
signal.
down Randy too, man, because I think Randy, 2021 we got some hitting success. He was pretty solid. 2020 he was elite, and we went all the way. Last year Randy kind of disappeared in that Cleveland series, and he was one of our most consistent players in 2022. And we need him to get a spark and a fire. I like the chances because I think he played pretty well in Baltimore, so that was kind of a playoff atmosphere, and I think he's gonna get turned up for that. So I like our chances for it, but yeah, Randy is huge, man. I mean, what else, Will? What you got?
Yeah, I agree. Randy's got to step up, but I think one thing too, we need to come out hot in the first game. Game 1 is so important. We saw earlier this year that Tyler Glasnow played very well against the Rangers. And on the flip side of that, if it is Eovaldi who's starting, the Rays kind of roughed him up a little bit. And I'd like to see that again. Can the Rays play with a lead and win Game 1? And if they can do that, this series is over before you even know it. But you got to play with the lead, and you got to take the lead early. You cannot be going 0-0 and put so much pressure on your bullpen because, look, we love the Rays bullpen. But again, it's just we cannot have another repeat where it's 1-1 or 0-0, nobody can get a hit, and you put so much pressure on Fairbanks, Kittredge, Poche, etc. So we just need to play with the lead early because we can rough this team up. I don't care about the regular season as much. The Rays are a playoff team. They've been here before. And one thing, too, the Rays will not have to face Max Scherzer. Say what you want about him, how well his season went this year, but that's one guy that the Rangers do not have who's had the most postseason experience out of anybody. So the Rays need to win Game 1. Game 1's important.
It is, and I think you look back at the Wildcard series last year, I think every single team that won Game 1 went on to win the series. It's huge. It's only 3 games, so, I mean, you got to win 2, and you don't want to have to win 2 in a row. That's terrible. But, I mean, I think it's big. I think a big player to add on to that is Tyler Glasnow. I mean, Tyler Glasnow, we've seen kind of the best and the worst of him recently. You know, we see him going in the Trop against Boston, 14 strikeouts, but then we see him give up 6 against Baltimore. So we need peak Tyler Glasnow. I don't think we need him to go for 7 innings or anything crazy, obviously, if he does that. But we need 5, 6 good, solid innings that we know Tyler Glasnow can give us. Because I think if we get that, I think we will hit off the Texas pitching.
I agree. Yeah, I think we look back at his start against the Rangers this year. He went 6 innings pitched and he gave up only 1 earned run. So another repeat performance like that would be absolutely perfect for the Rays. And look, you can say there's been a lot of injuries on the Rays, but Tyler Glasnow, he earned this start to open up the postseason, and I can't wait to see him deliver. I believe in you, Tyler. Believe in you.
Me too.
What's Luke Raley looking like?
So I was going to say this. Luke Raley and Jose Siri, we don't know. I think the last update we got was about in the middle of the week last week, and they seem to be trying their very hardest, both of them, to try to get back in the postseason lineup. They said they thought Luke Raley might be able to take some at-bats this week in Toronto. That did not happen. So I don't know if he had a setback or if they're just trying to keep it calm, keep it
They're
laid
probably,
back.
yeah, I hope they're just resting him. That's what I
So I hope so too. I think if we look at the Rays lineup, I think we're obviously going to see Yandy at the top at first base. Number 2 will most likely be Randy. I think we'll see Harold up there for sure because now we don't have really a lefty platoon because I don't think they're going to play around to the start. We'll definitely see Josh Lowe will be up there in left field. Margot's going to probably be in center, which I think he's a big key. I think he could give you some sneaky big hits this series. Margot is a playoff performer, and he's had a hot bat. I mean, he hit a home run today. He's been hitting the ball over the place. I saw him. He hit like a 96-mile-per-hour fastball above the zone straight back into center field the other day, and I was like, okay, man, well, I didn't know you had that in you. But then I think Rene Pinto will probably be our catcher. Isak's going to be in there. Forgot about him. I'm sorry. And then this is where it gets interesting. Starting shortstop. What do you guys? I'll start with Ethan.
Not Taylor Walls.
All right, Ethan. Who would you want to see then starting at shortstop?
I mean, Basabe would be cool. I'm doubting that's going to happen. They're probably putting Taylor Walls, just more experience, but it scares me a little bit.
I think we give it to Meade. Can he play shortstop?
No, I don't think. I think Meade. You'll either see Isak playing second and Meade third, or you'll see the other way around. But I say give it to Junior, man.
Yeah, give it
I
Junior
say give it to
Cabanero.
Junior, dude.
Give it to me.
He's been
You
playing
think they
really
will?
good. I don't think so. I think we will see Taylor Walls, but usually
It's a safe choice.
Yeah, it's a safe choice, and maybe he'll turn up and ramp up his defense. Tell his wife to figure out that baby situation and get a full night's rest or something, because he definitely that's rude, but he definitely should.
That baby thing
He definitely should.
We don't need these type of off-field distractions.
But if he's playing elite defense, and he's hitting the ball all right recently. He got a big hit in the 10th inning on Saturday. We don't need pop. I want Taylor Walls to hit singles all over the place. I don't care about a home. I just want him to get on base and steal some bags and play defense.
Just saying. Watch him hit one out the park.
I'd love that.
Yeah, believe me, I called that like 2 weeks ago, and it hasn't happened since. So
Joel, what do you think for starting shortstop?
I mean, give me. I can never say his name when I
Basabe?
need it. Yeah, whatever Ethan just said. Ostavis Basabe. That.
Oh, dude.
You did it perfect.
I
Good job.
said it because you gave me the first. I needed the first word.
Nice. There you go. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Basabe.
He's only gonna start one game.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, the interesting thing about the Rangers is we will most likely be getting a left-handed starter in Montgomery for Game 2, which is very well plays into the Rays' hands. So I think you could see Basabe in Game 2 and have Taylor Walls, the left-handed batter, be Game 1 for that righty. But I mean, I just like the wild card factor of Junior, man. Like, he might go off, hit a home run, or he might
I don't mind it.
He might hit a little tapper and beat it out.
Beginner's
Maybe
luck.
that.
We had the Randy 2020 experience,
Yeah.
so it's like just get some of these.
Yeah, the only thing about
guys
Junior
in.
is he came straight up from Double A.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I mean that's That's good. I know the games are at 3 o'clock, but if you can get out to the Trop, do your very best, man. I don't know if any of us are going to be able to. Yeah, if you can find a seat. Like, we want a good
They're
playoff
opening
atmosphere.
the upper deck?
I think so.
The upper deck is completely open, and somebody posted a picture. There are so many lower bowl sections that are less than $150 and even as low as $100 less than that. So you could get some really nice seats for some postseason action. And it's at 3 o'clock. Take the day off. Take it off. What are you doing sitting at work when the Rays are in the postseason contention? So, yeah, there's some good seats, and it's not going to hurt your wallet.
Yeah. I mean, do we have anything else?
I was going to say, listen, put Aroldis Chapman on the mound at any point in the game. We're taking that bum yard. It's over. Just watch.
I'm with it, man.
That's all I got to say.
Is Mike Brasso willing to be signed for a 10-day contract?
That'd be
The
so
postseason
dope.
contract.
Oh, my goodness. But that's Harold Ramirez is the new Mike Brasso, so look out for Harold Ramirez walk-off bomb against Aroldis Chapman. You can honestly
I don't want to
write.
get to
Hey,
walk-off. I really don't.
I
Well, okay,
love-
wait, he's a closer, right?
I'd love to
No.
see some Chapman Siri.
Like, is he only going to
interaction.
come in when it's tied?
It's the playoffs, man. There's no
Okay.
rules to this. They can do whatever
Sometimes
they
they'll
want.
bring him in just when it's the heart of the
Yeah,
lineup.
they might put him in the 5th inning in a bases loaded jam. They might do
It's a
that.
bad
See him
idea.
as an opener.
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
Rays.
we're bringing in Aroldis
Rough
Chapman
him up.
for the opener. That'd be funny. But yeah, I mean, it's key. Bullpen. I mean, I don't know what Jason Adams looking like, but we have Fairbanks, Stevenson, Poche, Armstrong, Diekman, Kelly. Oh, I mean, Davinsky maybe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, that's 6 quality guys. I feel like I might be missing one, but that's okay.
You say Kittredge?
Kittredge too. He hasn't been all that, but he has been some of that.
Jacob
he can be
Lopez?
that. Jacob Lopez started today. Honestly, he started today not terrible, but not great. But that's all right. But yes, bullpen I feel good about. 2 starters I feel good about, and we can piece it together if we get to game 3. But I don't know if we're gonna get there because I think it's time we predict, man.
Yeah, I'd say what we should do is we'll go around. Everybody say your final thoughts on this postseason matchup, and then end it with your prediction. Just say your piece
Okay.
about this postseason matchup.
Like a thesis statement, and
yeah,
then you
give your thesis,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Some of us
go
did
with the
call.
prediction. Yeah, let's just do the predictions. So you say if they're gonna sweep, you say 2-0, and give us somebody who's hitting the ding dong, hitting the home run, hitting something yard. Just predict whoever you want. So who wants to start? Who wants to go for it?
I can go. You want a thesis? You want me to
let's
give a
Let me hear
summary?
what you have to say. This
All right. Well,
the hot mic.
I'm
section.
thinking like towards the end of the season, we saw some not great games. We saw a little bit of a decline. I think that's a little worrisome, but we also can look back at beginning of the season and the good times and understand this is a good team. These guys want to win. You can see it in them. They're hungry for it. And when we're playing our best ball, we're unbeatable. And so we just got to hope and pray that these guys are going to play their best baseball. And if they do, nobody's beating them. All right? Nobody's beating them.
Yeah.
And so if we lose, it's our own fault, most likely. And so just got to see some guys step up and just timely hits, everything like that. And so my prediction, we're winning, but I'm a little scared. So it's going 3 games, but we win. That's my prediction.
All right, raising 3.
Who's hitting the bomb?
Who's hitting the bomb? I got to go Yandy. Yandy's just going to do what he needs to do, and he's going to get things ignited. He's going to just generate some offense, get people hyped up. And, yeah, Yandy.
Matt, what are you thinking?
So, like we have said, it's gonna come down to like how we start, and I think Glasnow's obviously gonna have to twirl the pill out there, and we're gonna have to rough up Eovaldi pretty good. He scares me a little just because like he's had some very good games against us, and like he probably knows a couple of our hitters pretty well just because he is an X-ray, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm feeling good. I'm just gonna go 2-0, just because I think we're gonna run out the gates quick and early, and I'm gonna give the bomb to Aranda, man. I'm feeling good after that grand slam he had today. I think he'll sneak up on one of these pitchers and ambush them, and then just poke it out, man.
I like that.
Joel, I think we go next because I think we need to break up. We need to put a little freshen it up. But no. Okay, I just want to say Nathan Eovaldi pitched against the Rays twice this year. First time in Tropicana Field, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs.
Okay.
Culminated by a Frankie Mejia 3-run bomb. And then, but in Arlington, Nathan Eovaldi pitched 6 innings and gave up 0 earning runs. So we could get him or we could not get him. So that's just he's had an elite start and a pretty mediocre start. Just so you guys know.
All right,
Joel.
so the Rays and the Rangers go back as far as their playoff history goes. We have the 2010 and the 2011 ALDSs, and if you're an older fan like me, old being 26, if you're not a little Twinkie kid, teenager, you'll remember this. It was gut-wrenching. Will just put his hand on his heart because it hurt so bad. But the Rays did kind of come back from this. I think it was 2013, the game 163. We did beat the Rangers in a postseason setting. So there is reason to believe that the Rays could do this, but overall I would say the Rangers kind of just have the Stu Sternberg Rays number in that kind of setting the last few years. So I'm scared. I don't necessarily have a good feeling about this. The Rangers, though they haven't made the playoffs lately, the team that they've built and established, they have a lot of guys with postseason success. Just to list some of them off, we have Marcus Semien, they have Corey Seager, they have...
Absolutely killed the Rays in 2020.
Yeah, they have the pitching staff Max Scherzer. I know he's not playing, but he's going to have that kind of advice and wisdom for the people going out there.
They have Aroldis Chapman.
Aroldis
He's had so
Chapman.
much playoff success. He's never given up walk-off home runs.
I mean, come on, he was there for 2016 Cubs. So, and on top of all of this, I will say they are managed by Bruce Bochy. And you know what Bruce Bochy did with the Giants. 5 years, 3 World Series. And, I mean, we've seen what the Rays can do. Last year was laughable, 1 run. So, I mean, we're coming up. We're banged. We're injured. We're bringing up a lot of our AAA roster, lineup. So, do the Rays get swept? No. We're probably going to get to I assume it's the Thursday game. And Aaron Savali is going to do it. Aaron Savali does. And the Rays are going to be losing the series 2-1.
Man.
Am I wrong? Hopefully. But just to kind of lighten the mood in here, heavy the mood, I should say, just to open our eyes up a little bit and remember, it doesn't look great for us. We are definitely coming in as the underdog.
Well, I didn't like that.
He's crying.
That's just, maybe it's good I go next
Lighten the
because
mood.
you just look at this year. Jeffrey Springs goes down. Drew Rasmussen goes down. Shane McClanahan goes down. We had the worst month of July I think I've ever seen in franchise history. But there has been something magical about this year. You start off making history. There's so many World Series teams who couldn't even win 6 games in a row, and the Rays win 13. And no matter what, they've always battled this whole year. They've never given up. And I just think no matter what happens with this team, they find ways to win. And I think that it doesn't matter who goes out there. The Rays always have a chance. They always have a chance, and they're always dangerous. And I think something really changed from the offseason of 2022 to 2023, and they started hitting. And I think they will never make that mistake again in the postseason where they go hitless and can't do anything offensively. And this year, it's going to be different. Give me the Rays 2-1. They're winning Game 3. Everybody's going to be heartbroken. They don't get it done on Wednesday, but Thursday they come in and they get it done. And then who knows what happens? we're going to the Orioles. Could be. And I just think this is a team of destiny. I'm going to say it. This is a team of destiny. I've been saying it all year. I believe. I believe in them. And I think the Rays win this, and they go on. They win the divisional, and I think they're going to the World Series. And if I'm wrong, I don't really care, because then you can say, look, it was all the injuries that happened. But right now, I believe in them, and I think they can win it with anybody on that roster. Anybody on that roster right now, they can win with them. So give me 2-1. They're beating the Rangers. There's no place like Dome, baby. There's no place like the Trop. It's going to be rocking. The cowbells are going to be crazy. It's going to be like a Mississippi State game. It's going to be like a Mississippi State home game. Cowbell Max is going to be there. He's going to be leading the chants. And the Rays win 2-1, and Randy's back. He's back. Right. You might not believe it, but he's back, and he's hitting a home run, and he's going to get Randy Land going crazy, which they should do for the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to, but Randy Land should be rocking. Everybody wear your sombreros, too. Raise the flags. Fire the cannons. Let's go, Rays.
The Dark Knight returns.
I don't know if you follow Rays coverage, but he's like 13-0 at Rays games this year.
You better be at all.
So if you're listening, bro, I think you're like a ginger.
That's all the wins we need in the postseason.
Go to the game.
Start the GoFundMe. Wait, Joel, did you say who's going to hit a home run?
I did not. We're going to go with Harold Ramirez.
And Matt, did you say?
Aranda.
Okay, yeah, okay. You know, I like the team of destiny thing, but I don't even think you need to go there, because I'm looking at the Rays. I'm looking at starting pitching. Tyler Glasnow, Troppenheimer, is going to drop the wood on the Rangers game 1. He's going to absolutely maul those people. Curveball, slider, fastball, doesn't matter. This man is inside, the moisture's right, all of it's good, and he is going to absolutely have a gem, dude. And you know what? And if it's tied after that, the Rays bullpen is way better than the Rangers. The Rays have one of the best bullpens in baseball, and the Rangers have one of the worst. That is not how you win playoff games.
Right.
The Rays are going to, and you know what? They might not even need it, because I think the Rays have a more consistent lineup. You know, Adelise, these people, Young, all these people, they're good, but they're inconsistent. They go through streaks. They go through cold streaks, and the Rays pitching has been able to shut them down in almost every game this year. The key is the Rays' offense, and I think they're going to do it. I think Yandy is poised to be – he's going to have a coming-out party of all coming-out parties. People are going to be like, wow, this Yandy Diaz guy, he is – he's like – why do we always talk about Aaron Judge when this guy is hitting for better average, better on base, and, you know, doing all that stuff? But no, Aaron Judge has a short porch, so we should talk about him.
Because Aaron Judge is sponsored by Jersey
Yeah,
Mike's.
that's exactly what it is. And you know what? We don't need that team of destiny stuff. Maybe next series, but not this.
We are the team of destiny.
But we don't even need it. The Rays are winning this game in 2. And I don't even have a doubt about it. I'm glad we're playing the Rangers, because it's the easiest opponent we could have had, and I feel so good about this. And Isaac Paredes is hitting probably like 2 home runs this series, all the left field. He's gonna do the "you can't see me." I'm gonna get hyped. The towels are gonna be flying. The Cowboys are gonna be ringing, and it's gonna be awesome. And then we're gonna go into Baltimore and sweep their freaking fraud faces. All right, that's what I think.
So let me say this: the Rays are going to wish that they had made the trade for Aroldis Chapman.
No.
Oh my!
No.
We don't want him.
So he
what are they
can
gonna do for the
smile.
7th and the 8th
So he can
inning?
smile, looking at
They'll
the
be
home run he
winning by
just gave up
5.
No.
to lose the game.
Glove in the
Yeah.
face.
Well, I'm just
So he
saying.
can-
He's gonna do that little smirk he has.
Where's
when he looks
Fernando
at the
Rodney
home
at
run.
these days?
Texas got him early on, and they're going to
Got
be
me thinking
glad they
about these
did.
closers.
He almost blew their season. Also, Texas is they had the Division 1 and they blew it on the last day of the season.
They
you
should
can't-
be the division
you
champs, and
can't-
they
you
blew
can't-
it. They
yeah,
had
you
every
can't-
opportunity.
You can't be going in the playoffs with that type of momentum.
Let me just throw in a.
The Rays are 4-1
Let me
this
just
week.
throw in a devil's advocate little thing right here.
That's all you do.
Maybe they wanted to play the Rays.
Why would they want to play the Rays
Why
when
would
they could
not
have a
want to
first
break?
round
They
bye?
could break.
They would have had to buy.
Yeah.
I didn't know if only the Orioles got.
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
with Joel on this one. I think he's got a point.
I thought they didn't get the
No,
buy.
only the top 2 get a bye. So the Astros the Astros, dude, they just get their little cakewalk series. They'll either get to
They're
play
still
They
Minnesota
get
or the
so
Blue Jays.
lucky.
It's
They're finding
They
new
get
ways
so
to cheat.
lucky. But I don't care, because if we're in the ALCS and we're playing the Astros, you better believe we're winning that.
Oh, yeah.
You better believe we're winning that. And we're going to the World Series. We're going to the World Series.
That's what I'm saying. And that's
Book
what
it.
Book it.
Put
Buy
your money
tickets.
on it.
Yeah, buy your tickets. gamble on it. Put your life savings on it. Don't do that. But yes, we feel good about this. We love our team, and regardless of what happens, we're going to root for you. But I think we're going to have a lot more games this October to root for because I think we are going to win a lot of games.
TB3 podcast will be talking about the Rays in November. You heard that right.
Ooh, I like
we'll
it.
be talking about them in November.
We're going to be talking free agency.
Yeah, we'll be signing Shohei Ohtani.
We're getting
by then.
Fernando Tatis.
Yep. There we go. All right. That's about it. I don't know if you guys got anything else crazy to say, but I mean, that's it. Thank you for listening to this special edition of TB3. We will have your normal TB3 episode coming out later on this week. You're getting bonus content, so everyone just take a knee and pray because you guys are getting bonus content. You guys should just be
We'll
happy
start
about
charging for this.
Yeah.
Soon. If we go big time,
Patreon.
bonus. Yeah, we're going to Patreon.
I ain't using
You
that.
won't be
I ain't
able
using
to-
that trash app. I can't even stand the idea of that. But yeah, thank you for listening. Hopefully, we'll get to talk to you in another Division Series special episode coming up soon. All right. So Will has something to lead you guys out on. All right. He's got it.
Yeah, we started with this tradition kind of by chance. And I just have to say before we go, thank you to Matt and Ethan for hopping on the show. This was really fun. I enjoyed it. Something different
My
that we
pleasure.
tried. It's awesome. So we'll do it again. And you're going to be hearing this a lot because you're going to see the Rays all the way to November. It is an MLB theme on Fox Network.